Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on the server. This is the 31st episode now, and you might be noticing we're in a peculiar place. And not on my main account, this is my cam account. Because today we are going to just do the command blocks for the death games. So, in case you're wondering, that didn't work, there we go. These command blocks are at 00 under spawn. Tucked away by barrier blocks so that no one can actually get here, as you can see. And in making the death games, I'm not actually sure if there's enough space down here, or if there is, it's going to be cramped. But yeah, we're going to be making the death games. Now, suppose first of all I should explain them to anyone who doesn't know how it works. Basically, it's an opt-in game where you basically put your name into a hat, and at random intervals it'll message or put out some message to the entire server saying whose name has been drawn. And from there, what you have to do is the person whose name was drawn is the death game's target, and anyone else who is in the death games has the ability to go and hunt them with some stipulations. If they successfully kill the target, then the target has to give the killer a diamond, or maybe some other form of agreement or some other form of payment if they both agree on it. However, in order to hunt the target, you have to put on like weaker armor. It'll probably be like, I'll have to get some from the skeleton or zombie spawner, but it'll basically be chainmail, some gold probably is what it usually is. It can't be too strong, otherwise people with super strong or armor would like stand no chance, because multiple people can hunt the death target at the same time if they want to. But yeah. So I guess now we need to do the command blocks. I have no plan on how I'm gonna do this. I haven't made this. I don't think we didn't have a death games on our 1.14 server. I don't think we had a death games on our 1.12 server either. I think our 1.9 server was the last, maybe even before that was the last time we had death games. So it's been a while since I've had to do anything like this. But first of all, I already have a system in place here. Why can I not see anything here? There we go. That was really weird. Anyway, first things first. The first thing I'm gonna have to do is I need to make it so that it's not on an exact timer. I want it to be on a somewhat random timer. So, and to do that with command blocks, I could probably do it, but I feel like a hopper clock would be easier. Maybe. Of course, even with like a couple of hopper clocks and an AND gate, it would still only be pseudo-random and not actually random, but it'd be random enough that I doubt anyone on the server would be would do the calculations to figure it out. Okay, I decided I was going to expand this after all. Oh well. Did I fill that in? I can't tell what I filled in and what I haven't. Put one there. There we go. I want to make sure this is all barrier blocks so no one can get in here. Alright, let's make this. Bang, bang. Give me one of these. A hopper clock like that. Bang. I need a piece of redstone. Okay, so now every time it cycles through all the scoreboards, I think, or we'll say anytime it gets to the hours played, so that's at 6,000. Anytime this gets at 6,000, it'll test if it's at both. Whoops. There. Okay. As I was saying, So every time it gets to the hours played, what it'll do is it will test if both this is on. You know, that's too slow. Or I mean, that's cycling too fast. This, I can make it cycle a lot slower by doing that. Or actually, you know what I can do? I can have this only test when it's between, like, 6,000 and 6,010? Well, there are 20 server ticks per second. How many redstone ticks per second? There are 10 redstone ticks per second. So this is, I think, 2 ticks it outputs. This is gonna be too fast. Okay. Time to expand it out this way. Gonna have 2 hopper clocks. Okay, so I realized I just wasn't talking there for a while, so I'd better explain this. So I added another hopper clock. The times are roughly, let's see, this one, I'll take all the redstone. Okay, so I want to make sure I have the right amount in both. Okay, that's all of that. So if I put a stack into one and say 50 into the other, I need to look up the times it takes for each hopper to do it. But anyway, every roughly 8 minutes, it's going to check and see if both of these redstone blocks are active, which we'll denote by putting one there. We'll say that one. And that one will be the ones that we'll check. These lamps won't actually do anything, but that's just how I'll know which side is the active side and which one is not. I should add this guy right here, just so nothing spawns under here. Not that it really matters. And one over here. But, let's see. So, yeah, every 8 minutes it's going to check if these are active. And then, so now I'm trying to see how often each of these hopper things is going to... Actually, maybe I shouldn't do the calculations, because then I'll know how the timer works. I guess it's best for me to not, so I'll just... Yeah, I'll just chuck 50 into here, 64 into there. So, now what I need to do is check for that 8-minute mark. So /execute if scoreboard ticks played equal or matches 6,000 to 8,000, then it will run. Oops. It will set a, let's say, a redstone block here, which will then have a single impulse command block here. Man, all this is just for the clock for the death games. I haven't actually done any of the random player selection or the messages, but at least the messages will be easy. But so what this is going to do is... I suppose I could have done all this with data packs, but I've never worked with data packs before, so let's just ignore that. Anyway, this should be... It doesn't need to be conditional. All we need is set block to air. Copy and paste that here. And that way, whenever this happens... So, that's what we'll test that. Now what we need to do is... Actually, I'll go ahead and... Man, I don't know. Okay, that's not what's going to be here. That's what's going to be, like, here. But, so I can move that. So, I wonder, can you do /execute if block, let's say this block here, or let's say this block here, /execute if block here is a redstone lamp. If block... I didn't finish typing that, darn it. Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. So slash execute if this block is a redstone lamp, if block here is a redstone lamp, run say testing. But now if one of them is not, okay, cool. So you can do that all in one line. So I don't actually need two of these. Okay, so numbers. So instead of that, we want execute if this block, except the one below it, is a redstone block, and if block, the one under this one, so a 1 there, is a redstone block, run, say, testing. Okay, that's all I want here for now. And then this can actually go there. And we don't need that. Alright. Huh. Well, they're both on now. This is an impulse. This is an impulse command block, so why was that running repeatedly? That should only run once. Impulse command blocks are only supposed to run once. How do I change this from executing every... Oh, I know why that wasn't working before when I had it here. It was because it was replacing this with a redstone block every tick. How am I gonna change this into a, going from executing every 20 times a second to just executing once? So this is okay, so if the death game time or death games is 1, and if the first redstone block is in the right spot, or the first hopper clock is activated, and if the second redstone clock is activated, then do that. So now I can plug that all into here. If death games matches 1, and if the redstone blocks are, or if the hopper clocks are both activated, say testing, and that's always active. So now I'm gonna need what it's actually gonna want to do is slash scoreboard players. Here, what I should do is scoreboard players sets death games ticks or scoreboard ticks played 6,000 once both of these are on. So I'm going to test, once both my hopper clocks work around to the same position, I'm going to test to see if this is accurate. I'm not actually sure, now that I think about how often it should potentially change the death games. Is every 8 minutes too little? Should it take longer than that? Probably, if I'm being honest. Huh, that didn't work. There's probably a really simple way to do this, but I know how to do this in like a kind of convoluted way, but I'm trying to avoid overly convoluted solutions. But what I could do is just have a clock running that checks if it's at the right time, like I have here, and then have that set down a redstone block next to a redstone lamp. Like, say, if we just have this here, what we could instead do is, here, let me see, slash set block, redstone block, and then it'll just check if this is active. Or actually, that might not work if I'm being honest, because if this is updating every second, this might also technically update every second, so I need it to go through like a repeater. Okay, let's see if this works this time. I've been at this for about an hour now, in total. Let's see, okay, that one's on. Now I have to wait for both of these hopper clocks to activate at the same time. Okay. It didn't work. Okay, but this did turn it off after a second. Why didn't you work? Okay, so this properly set that. This didn't work. So if 1, 2, -8. Okay, I got it to work. Oh, okay, so I switched things up a little. So hopper clocks are still the same, still set to the same values. But first thing, what happens, let's say when the 8-minute clock goes from the scoreboard timer, whenever it hits hours played on the side, which I'm going to change that, but for now, whenever it hits hours played, what it does is this tests for that, and it sets a redstone block right here. And then what this does is it gets triggered once, not a bunch of times from that, and it checks if both this light is on, technically, if the redstone block is there under it, and if this light is on, again, technically, if the redstone block is under it. And then it says testing, which will be what randomly selects a player. And then what it will do is about 60 ticks after that redstone block was placed, this redstone, or this command block, gets rid of it. I can actually move the command block here. Do not need redstone. So that is set up, which is great. Now what I should do is I should make it a different clock instead of this one. Because I think having a minimum of 8 minutes at switching is a bit too short. I think it should be at least 20 minutes, I'm thinking. At least, I'll say at least 15 minutes. So 15 minutes to ticks. That's 18,000 ticks. So what I could have it do, let's see, where should I'll place it here. So just like what this one does. Where does it do it? Here we go. So now let's say scoreboard players, death games. Oops, scoreboard players add or set death games ticks played 0. It turns that on. Then in 100 ticks it should turn off. Perfect. And then scoreboard players list. Oh, how long has my sister been on? Oh, she just got on. Okay. Scoreboard players list death games. Okay, then if we set ticks played to 17,000, or say 17,900, because I don't want to wait that long. Once it reaches 18,000, yep, it goes back to 0. Turns that on for 100 ticks. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So, I'm not sure of the exact numbers on this, but the minimum amount that it could take between switching is 15 minutes. Sweet. And then it also is based on the pseudo-random clock I have here. A dual pseudo-random clock, which makes it even more pseudo-random. Alright, so I've done that. I can go ahead and clear my inventory. Because now I need, instead of this saying testing, what I need to do is have it, first of all, only be people who have opted in. So we'll say, I'm guessing Ben will. Okay, so I haven't said anything in a while. Been messing with some things. Some people, I turned it off the ability to see where players were on the map we have. So now hopefully my sister will join. And Ben, hopefully? If Ben doesn't join, then we have a problem. But regardless, I can start setting up, what's it called? The actual message stuff. So, once this is active, then what we need is a random Random player selector. Okay guys, welcome back. I haven't said anything in a while. Just been testing some things. I do want that in my hand actually. Oh, quite hard to see anything when all these barrier blocks are active. There's no barrier block there. That could have been dangerous. Someone could come down here and mess all this up. Anyway, is this a barrier block right here? No. Man, I missed some spots. Anyway, I'll go through and check that later. But, basically what I've been doing is I've been trying to get some people to actually offer to join the death games. But, as it is right now, I have this set up so that I have got some more space. So that up to 5 people can join, and I can always expand it out later pretty easily. But, so what we're going to have to do here is... Where's the hole? There it is. First of all, basically, redstone block will be set here. Actually, maybe, now that I think about it, it should be something like... Actually, it's set to a proper output, right? Yeah, it's not constantly repeating. It gets one output. Cool. So, just this will be fine. So, now what I need is we'll have something like this. Basically, we need another clock. Basically going from 0 to 7, or we'll say... Well, we'll have it set to 0 to 30 for now. But basically... Come on, let me up there. So add death games 1, always active, and then once it reaches 30, need one of these. Come on. Once it reaches, if it matches technically 40 to some ridiculously large number. Death games. Okay, execute. If death games matches 40 to 22, run scoreboard set. Death games 0. So now I can have each of these test if it's between 0 and 10 for one player. Well, technically it should be 1 and 10 for one player, 11 and 20, 21, 30, so on and so forth. And then it will pick that player. A message will be sent out to the server. And I'll need one more to reset that redstone block. Okay, but first of all, what it should do, I'm going to need to place in these commands. So first thing it should do is /execute if score death games matches 1 to 10. Then it should run, let's see. It should run, what are we going to have it do first? Tell raw command. So now I need to look up a tell raw command, so I'll cut back in a second. Okay, so cutting back, hopefully this works. I should just type that in first in case this doesn't. Then we go back over here, and did that not work? Oh, it cut off because it was too long. Okay, well this one, let's plug in here. Yes, needs redstone. And then copy in this. Bang. Looks like it all made it in. Let me see. Check the Discord. Ta-da! And so this is if it's between that and that. Perfect. I'm just gonna keep, there we go. Interesting. Okay, so that's looking pretty nice so far. Wesley thinks it looks fancy. And if it was selected as the death game's target, check the Discord information channel for more info. I think that looks pretty good. I'd like to be able to get this onto one line. I know other people have their chat settings set to wider, but I'd like it to be able to appear on one line. So check the Discord, check the Discord information channel for info. I'll just have it say for info. Okay, so far this seems like it's working. I just need to make sure that this sets. Actually, I can do that now. /set block bang 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 to redstone block. Ta-da! Let me down here. There we go. So now instead of run say testing, what it will do is it will not that. It will set that block to redstone. And what I can do here, well, first of all, what I should have it do is copy this. Yeah, paste it here for. I had a couple of ideas. Okay, /set block error. Conditional. I guess that doesn't need to be conditional because the previous command blocks are impulse. So, ta-da! This doesn't need anything yet. Okay. So now, if while I'm working on this, it happens to switch to that, happens to have been 15 minutes and both of these are on, then it should spit that out. Now, what else we need is, oh, you know what else? Every time, okay, I'll set that in a second, but the next thing we need these to do, so right now all it does is tell everyone. Next, it's going to set that player, so for instance, here's scoreboard player set Habnef3, Death Games 1. That's what this will do. Conditional. Actually, I suppose all of these do need to be conditional. Yeah, because we only want that if it is this person. So it will set that person to 1, and then what we need is we'll have another always running clock there. You'll see why in a second. But so we have it. Oh, did I not do it? I thought I set it to okay. Scoreboard players set Habnef3. Oh, okay then. The server computer just blue screen of death. So that's fun. Okay, welcome back, guys. Man, I don't even know where I was when I last cut from, but Matt had a bit of a mishap at his base where he accidentally burned down his house, so we had to go back to a backup, and then I had to use an MC Edit alternative because MC Edit doesn't work with 1.15.2 to restore those chunks to the backup and not everything else because I didn't want to lose all this stuff. I want Wesley to get on to make sure that the stuff he worked on didn't go back in time. Like, this stuff went back in time a little bit. What were we doing? I was adding another clock here. I don't think I actually did anything with it yet. Alright, so continuing on from there. That was exciting. Had to do quite a bit there. Okay, so this should do that. Perfect. Player 2 was selected randomly. It wasn't from this, it was from me just doing that. But player 2, player 3, player 4. There, okay. Random enough that it's completely independent. The random timing should be enough, even though this isn't random. It just regularly cycles through, but because when it lands is random, doesn't matter. Should be good. Okay, so what do I need after saying this and doing that? We need to do /scoreboard player set Habnef 3, Death Games 1. Okay, that's how I'll do it. Because what I want is, I want it so that, basically, all I need is right here, / scoreboard players set at A, Death Games 0. Of course, if someone quits while they're the Death Games person, that means I need to set them all individually. Man, this is just looking worse and worse as time goes on, this little area, but... okay, so if it's placed here, / set block, bang, 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 redstone block. Aha! Cool, just randomly someone was set. That's pretty cool. But instead of that, we want it to be here. Why didn't that work? Did I not copy this? There we go. And then I want to set this to air, which means I need to change all of these. So this will be / scoreboard players set happen of 3, Death Games 0. This is so that when I add in the clock, I'm going to have a clock here that, like, every so often, it'll re-alert whoever is the Death Games target that they are still the target. Just so that they know. And so, not everyone will know, because for the hunters, they'll have to be on when they first get selected. The hunters will have to be on when the target first gets selected in order to be aware that who the target is, but the target will continually be aware and they'll have that knowledge, so that's good. Because you don't want it to be set to, like, say, for instance, you don't want it to be set to player A when player A is offline, and then when they get online, they don't know they're the target, but the hunters do. So, want to make sure that they know that they are still the target. So that's what this is going to be. So this will set them to be the Death Games. We want it to play a sound for that person, I think. Play sound, or / execute as yeah, we'll test it as that. Run, play sounds, wither? How about an Ender Dragon? Nobody, Ender Dragon. That is far too long of a sound, so not that one. Ambient. Ambient could work. Is it that same sound every time? No, but it's a sound like that. Okay. Flap. Flap isn't enough to get someone's attention. Growl? I feel like growl could work. Yeah, I feel like growl. Okay, so for each person, I'll have to have this / execute as happen of 3, run, play sound, growl voice, so that hopefully no one turns this off because it doesn't do anything unless, like, it's specifically run through a command block or a resource pack. But hopefully no one turns that off, because that will let them know that they're the Death Games if they're, like, AFK but with their sound on or something. So that's how that will work. Then I'll just have to set that up for any other players when they want to. So that's good. Good. Now I need the clock that reminds them. Okay, this should work now. Death Games to me, reminder, you are still the Death Games target. I don't think I need that first part. It's unnecessary. Reminder, you are still the Death Games target. I don't want it like that. I want it like this. Reminder, you're still the Death Games target. Alright, I think everything is working according to plan. I just need to make this wait a bit longer, basically. At least double the time, because right now this is, what, if it's 500 ticks, there's 20 ticks per second. That's 25 seconds. Every 25 seconds? Nah, it can be every like 2 minutes. So I'll fix that. But that is going to end this episode. So thank you guys for watching me set up all this craziness. Hopefully I kind of explained it all. Maybe I should go through it all once more, just for fun. You have where to start? All right, we have a clock that basically counts up to 18,000 ticks, or roughly 15 minutes, and then starts over. And what that does is, whenever at the end of that, or whenever it restarts, what it does is it triggers this command block over here, which will check if both of these independent hopper clocks are active, which adds in a pseudo-random element to the selector. So only if these are both active will it continue. And if it is, make sure these are all conditional. If it is, then what it does is it undoes the previous death games, and it also activates this stuff up here, which will first tell everyone who is the death game's targets. It will reset this section, and it will let that person know that they are the target, and it will also put into place this clock. What does this do exactly? Oh, and it will put into place this clock, which will remind them I'll set it to every couple minutes, I think, that they're the death game's target. Right now it's every 25 seconds. And then we have this clock here, which makes it decide which of these to activate which player, in effect. In fact, I could put signs here to make this easier. This is Habnef 3. This line right here. So yeah, that's going to end this episode. I've been recording for 3.5 hours now, but a lot of that was me trying to fix Matt's house and stuff, but hopefully this will be edited down into a concise video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!